Hi. Afternoon, thank you for joining me. So we've got 2 at the moment and a couple more just trying to get in. So I'll just let those people in and then we'll get started. I don't know whether other people will be joining us today, so feel free to say hi in the chat box so that I know you're there, not just logged on and ignoring me. So hi, Jean, welcome on board. Anybody else there? Hi, Carl. Good to have you here. So we've also got Stephen, John Joe, and hopefully we'll get 1 or 2 more people before we get started. Feel free to put your cameras on, feel free to chat with me, to talk to me. It doesn't all have to be one-sided. So completely happy for you to ask me questions or to interact with me. Lets me know that there are people there that that perhaps want to ask questions, share stuff with me. So I'm going to start today by looking at a couple of resources. If I can find System Builder. So the first one that I want to look at, I'm just moving my chat box onto a different screen. So if anybody does come onto the chat, I can see them, or if you pop your cameras on, I can see you. So there we go. So the first resource I want to look at today is this one here, this action resource on developing ourselves as trusted advisors. It was developed with the help of a number of Avian members. Down here, we've got Stephen and Rachel Carey, Chris Booth and Val Wishart. We asked those members to join us at a day where we talked about some of the challenges that maybe members face. And this was one of those. How do you change yourself to become from an accountant to be a trusted advisor? So we've got a number of questions that you can perhaps answer and a number of things that you can implement to allow this, or to make this happen. So I'm just going to have a look through it and give you some suggestions of things that you might want to implement. So first, promotion. How do business owners know to come to you? So how are you currently promoting yourself as more than just as an accountant? What are you doing on your website, for example? So places that you can go to, things that you can do, we've got some suggestions here. So you could use LinkedIn, Facebook and Twitter, putting articles on, commenting on other people's posts, hints and tips for different times of the year. So various things that you can put on there. You can use YouTube and put different videos on of hints, tips, suggestions. As we heard last week from Dan Heelan, I couldn't remember his name, who is getting the most amazing results from putting things on social media, putting small videos on, and he's getting some amazing results with people wanting to work with him. So what else could you do? What could you put on there? You could choose to run a business builder forum or business club. So for those of you that aren't, I don't think there's anyone on here that is running a business club, but it could be that you choose to develop that. There are loads and loads of resources in System Builder for doing that. 60, 70 different topics of things that you could cover. And the business club, the business builder forum, is running away where you perhaps run a 40-minute seminar, you have a small break, and then you have a strategic board session where people get to ask you questions about the challenges that they're facing in their business. And you can answer them, and the other people in the room can answer them as well. So that is something else that you could do. When we used to run it live and run it once a month, and it always started at 7:30 in the morning, because then it was done pretty much for 9:15, 9:30, so people could still go and do their full day. I know lots of members are running them on as webinars now. Again, that's a really great way to do it, because you are being able to interact with your clients and show them that you're doing stuff differently.
Is there any guidance in system builders for running webinars or on topics of webinars?
Absolutely, yes. So advisory members get all the BBF topics. So if I go in here and search for, if I actually filter by business builder rather than, there we go. So you can see on here, I've got 379 results, but each topic has sort of 6 or 7 things. So you'd get the letters, the marketing letters, the audio, the transcript of the audio, the slides that go along with it. So, you know, you get everything you need to be able to run them. And if I show you the Bbf Toolkit, this has on it all of the different topics. If I just pull that up, so this is just a spreadsheet. It has all of the different topics on there and the sort of the category that they fall into with the links to them. So various marketing ones, leadership, operational. So a number on sort of finance and pricing, people, goals. Loads and loads of different ones. Many of them are actually based on a book, where we've taken the idea of a book, read a book, taken the ideas, turned it into a presentation that you can then deliver. Some of them are really great to start with. So there's one on getting referrals. So harnessing the power of word of mouth advertising is a brilliant topic to start with. Another one is how to become completely debt free in less than 7 years. So there's the part 1 and part 2, definitely the part 1. And there's one about how to interpret the numbers in your accounts, which is actually really straightforward, but it just explains to your clients the different elements of accounts and how you can understand them. And that really sort of opens your clients' eyes to some of the things they ought to be looking for in their accounts, and can often lead on to extra work for you. But there's loads and loads in there. There's over 60.
The last one you were just saying, then that leads on to an advisory. Well, opens a discussion up for advisory services, then, does it?
So how to interpret the numbers in your accounts would perhaps lead more on to more compliance services, actually, initially, because people will then want to have the numbers up to date more quickly.
Right. Okay.
Whereas a number of others that would lead on to the advisory are things like these Michael Gerber ones. Michael Gerber's 3 keys about sort of implementing systems. There are probably the marketing ones are more likely to lead on to the advisory stuff. If you start talking about growing, so that's more likely to lead on to the advisory stuff. Yeah, so how to guarantee your way to bigger sales and profits would again lead on to advisory, because you can then move into things like SSTW. And there is a few on there. There's 2 or 3 on there that actually use the SSTW software as well. And then that sort of encourages people to sort of continue with that and want access to it for their own, to put their own numbers in.
Thank you.
So yeah, definitely worth looking. If that's something that you're interested in, we can absolutely have a conversation around it. But it really does open your eyes, open your clients' eyes to the sort of things you can do for them. Doesn't have to be a monthly business club. It could be a one-off seminar that you run, or guest speaking at third-party seminars. So maybe get in touch with the Chamber of Commerce or your local business school or something like that, and offer to run a seminar for them. It could be that, you know, you get in touch with the local business school and offer to run the seminar about how to interpret the numbers in your accounts for people that are looking to start up in business. Again, that could lead on to additional work for you.
There's enormous opportunities there then, isn't there?
Absolutely, yeah. So it's all about, you know, this section is all about how you're currently telling people that you're different. So there's the benchmarking reports. So if you've traditionally sort of just sat down with your clients and talked about the year-end accounts, introduce them to the benchmark reports so that they can see that your area of expertise is much bigger, because you're talking about, you know, growing the business, you're talking about cash flow, you're talking about gross profits, all those sort of things. You also have the your website. So what does your website say? I know that in lots and lots of the things that Shane's done, the masterclass and the roadmaps that Emma runs, they both talk a lot about what your website says about you. So, you know, is it you personally? Can people sort of look at your website and see you? And have you got a video on there so they can get a feel of how you are? What does it say? Does it talk about business growth, or does it talk about we can do your accounts and your tax return? So what does it say? Face to face. So what are you saying to prospects? What are you saying when you introduce yourself to people? So here I just want to introduce this other resource that we've got. So how to introduce yourself in 60 seconds. So, you know, the thing is, you're in a networking event, someone says, what do you do? And you say, oh, I'm an accountant. And the room is silent. That's it. End of conversation. So what can you say to continue that conversation? Instead of saying, I'm an accountant, you know, you could say something, we've got a script here. You could say something like, I help turn dreams into reality. Don't just leave it at that. Then say, actually, I'm an accountant, but we've discovered that people want much more than just the tax and accounts done. So, and they've got dreams about what it is they'd like to achieve. So whatever those dreams are, whether it's fame, fortune, security, the retirement, or, you know, the freedom to work the hours they want to work, whatever it is, we're there to help them turn those dreams into reality. So it just helps people to understand that you're different. You could also speak to banks and other referral sources. So for those of you that have the PMI folder with the 9 different sections in it, get copies of those out to your bank managers, show them what it consists of so that they understand you're not just about accounts and tax returns, and explain to your bank managers and maybe IFAs or mortgage reference, mortgage brokers, or anybody else that you have those sort of interactions with, where you can refer people to and from, maybe a solicitor. Get copies of that folder out to them, and that helps to explain how you're different. You can go to networking groups. You have to, if you go to something like BNI, you have to make sure you're talking about this sort of stuff, about the people's goals and the reason why people went into business in the first place and how you help them to achieve that. You turn their dreams into reality, as opposed to talking about the basic tax, accounts, compliance. Because what you talk about and how you express to those people in those networking groups what your ideal client is and the sort of people you're looking to work with, if you don't express that, you're going to get the same old crap that everybody else gets. I need to pass a referral on to you, so I'll just pass Joe Blogs from down the road. You want them to be on the lookout for the right sort of clients for you. So if you do that, make sure you make it work for you and explicitly tell people what you're looking for and give them an idea of that type of client. Newspaper columns or blogging. We've got Jean on here. I'm just going to give a shout out to Jean, who is doing this. So she's writing in her local newspaper every month. Sort of not an advert, but a sort of cross between an advert and a blog. So giving stories of how she's helped people and how she can help you going forward. So absolutely fantastic that. So get in touch with your local papers, see whether they need anyone to sort of help write the content, because that's actually quite difficult for a number of newspapers, being able to pull it together and where's this content going to come from. If you can offer to write the content, you're going to make someone's life easier. And there are loads and loads of different things that you can write about. Always remember to pick up on the great things you've done for your clients and turn those into a blog. Get those stories out there. So I'm just going to put I haven't realized I haven't put my computer on do not disturb. I'll just do that. Who can you form strategic alliances with? So I mentioned earlier about other referral sources. So you've got the banks, you've got solicitors, you've got IFAs, you've got mortgage brokers. Who else are your clients likely to come to you needing help for? And who can you then refer on to? And you can build really great strategic alliances with those people. Again, make sure that you have explained to them your ideal client, the type of client you're looking for, so that they can continually be on the lookout for that person. So there's some ideas on how you can promote yourself as a trusted business advisor. But what do you need to do differently? So we've got some things here. So tell all of your clients about the Business Builder Forum if you're running one. Promote it to all of your networking groups. And the reason we say all is quite often we have an idea of the type of client that is going to be interested in this sort of work. But actually, we're often wrong. And the types of clients that you think are going to be interested aren't. But those clients that you've dismissed are the ones that are going to be more interested. So always invite all of your clients, always talk to all of your clients, at least till they've physically said to you, it's not something I'm interested in. I don't want to grow my business. I'm happy as I am. Nothing needs to change. If they're there, that's great. If they're not there, if they're not happy in the business, then something needs to change and you can be that person to help them. So you could do more guest speaking. So if it's not something you're comfortable with, you could join the Professional Speaking Association or Toastmasters. So those are two where you can try out speaking in public. It can help you to develop the scripts for the presentations that you want to run. It can help you to stop using like I've just done. and those are the filler words that people use instead of just pausing for a breath. You can use it to build your confidence. You can use it to get yourself out there. And actually, if you join something like the Professional Speakers Association, you can actually get extra work from it, because people might want you to speak. If they know you're wanting to speak to an audience of business owners, then you might actually get invited to do that. So if that's something that you don't have confidence in, if you don't have confidence in sort of creating the videos to go on YouTube or running webinars or running other sorts of seminars, then absolutely get to Toastmasters or the Professional Speaking Association, and that will really, really help. If you do want to talk to anyone about that, by the way, either Shane or Andrew Miller, one of our other practice growth experts, can have a chat with you. Both of those have been in Toastmasters. And as you're possibly aware, you may not be, but if you're possibly aware, Michael Hem joined the Professional Speakers Association because that's something that he wanted to build his confidence and skills in. And he got through to the final of their Speaker Factor competition this month. So, you know, he's just done that to build his confidence, to build his skills. And it's just an easy way for you to do it. So get on social media, but be consistent and be regular, and have quality content, not just selling, but informing and helping. Because the selling will come afterwards. It's very difficult to get tied up in well, if I give everything away, then what are they going to come and buy from me? But a lot of this stuff's available on the internet anyway. So they're just going to go elsewhere and get it from YouTube or, you know, other sites. So you want them to come to you, and then when they want help, personal one-to-one help, that is when they're going to come to you and ask for that help. So make sure it's about helping, giving advice, but be consistent and regular, and actually comment on other people's posts as well, not just putting your own posts up there. So the next is change the terminology, change how you talk to your clients. When you sit down with your clients, ask them why they went into business in the first place. Are they happy? What are their challenges? What do they want to achieve? What are their goals going forward? Because by understanding that, your client's automatically thinking that you are interested in them, and you're not just there to get the money for doing the account, but you are actually interested in them. You're interested in helping them to develop and to grow. And so make sure that you're using the right terminology with your clients, that you're saying, we can help you with that. If you're wanting to grow, why not sit down with us and we'll have a discussion about the ways in which you can do that and the strategies in which you can do. As I mentioned before, you know, with the social media, make sure your blogs are more focused on the things that you want to get out there. Make sure it's a valuable read to your clients and to your prospects. Make sure they're learning something from it. Make sure you're working through the roadmaps, because part of the positioning roadmap and the value roadmap are all about developing that trusted advisor. So positioning yourself in the right way on your social media, on your website, as you're talking to people, making sure you're using the right language, and then the adding value. So making sure that you can then deliver on those things for your clients. You know, do they want one-page plans? Do they want board meetings with you? Would they like to go through the SSTW process to identify where they can grow their business? So what can you do to build on that? And then further on down the line, building your own profile and the profile of your business. So building that up so that people know, like, and trust you, and that you're seen as an expert in your field. So other things that you can do are you can win awards. There are loads and loads of awards out there for accountants to attempt to go for. And actually, as daft as it sounds, not very many people do. Which is why those that make a conscious effort and really put themselves forward and go for lots of awards tend to be the ones that win them or come as finalists. And then you've got something to promote yourself as, you know, award-winning accountant in this area. It just gives you another end, doesn't it? And then make sure you promote your clients' successes and your contribution. So I don't know whether any of you were on the session I did 2 weeks ago, but that was all about celebrating your clients' successes, writing press releases for them and getting it out there, because that in itself promotes you because you've helped them to get there. So if you haven't watched that, it's on YouTube, and you can go and have a look for that. So what tools do you have in your Avian toolbox to help you with this? So you can have an entry into the UK's Business Owner's Guide to the Best Accountancy Practices book. You need to be an approved AVM member to do this. It's completely free of charge. All you have to do is be able to tick the boxes so that when we're promoting you, we know that you adhere to that level of standard. So it's things like giving fixed prices and looking out for tax planning opportunities for your clients, those sorts of things. So if you haven't already done that, I would highly recommend that you do, and you will find it in the knowledge base. And the timing for this is actually perfect, because we're just about to do the next revision of that book. You may have seen the email that came out on Monday, and that talks about making sure you've got your entry in there. So this is it, fill it in. And you've just got to be able to tick these. So you've clarified your vision or mission and your 12-month goals and shared those with your team. You're using Times Up or some sort of fixed pricing menu with your clients. It doesn't have to be Times Up, it can be anything, as long as it's a fixed price. You're giving proactive advice to your clients using On Track. So you've done that for at least 5 clients, and then you've produced that report and discussed it with your clients. Again, that's another way of showing that you're different and that you're a trusted advisor, because you're talking about different things. So it opens their eyes as well. You've implemented at least 3 systems from System Builder. It doesn't have to be in System Builder, but you've implemented 3 systems. Now, quite often those are systems where you've delegated a piece of work and you've passed the system along with it. That's absolutely great. You've produced your own benchmarking report, which I think, we asked you to do as part of your very first one of your very first tasks. So everybody should be able to tick that. And you're happy to provide a testimonial to us or attend one of our events. Again, I know some of you have already done that. And you can actually tick this box that you believe in helping owner-managed businesses become more successful and enjoyable to run. You actually want to do that. You want to help your clients to do that. That your team believe that you deliver a premium service and the fees reflect the quality of what you do. And that you're holding formal meetings with all of your A and B graded clients at least twice a year. And that only has to be pre-year end and post-year end. That is the minimum that we suggest you do. Doesn't have to be face-to-face, it can be Zoom, but you're actually sitting down and discussing that with your clients. It can be on the phone, as long as you're having the conversation. That you offer your clients help to reduce their personal and business taxes. And that can be so easy because all you have to do is send out the taxability checklist, get that back and review it. Your engagement letters are crystal clear. I would hope you are doing that anyway. And then you can become an added value member if you want to, or an advisory member. And that's it. We just want to know that you can do those things. So if you haven't already become an approved AVM member, get that filled in, get that off to us, and then you can join the other people in this book, and then we can promote you as well. As well as that, becoming an AVN approved member, you can also then create your own version of the AVN book. So you can have your own book with the fact that it's co-authored by you, it's your branding, it's your colors, it's your logos, and you can create that really easily. You can have it in PDF, but we would create it, or the typesetter would create it in a PDF version, and also in a format where you can send it to a printer if you want to, and they will help you to design. They will help design the logo for you, and then you've got, in effect, a really tangible business card that you can give out to prospects to show that you're different. So absolutely have a look into that as well. So become an approved member. You can then start using the AVN logo, you can create your own book, and you can be in the AVN book as well. So 3 things absolutely worth doing. All they take is a little bit of time, and you can do that easily. Start running your own business clubs. As we looked at earlier, there are over 60 different titles with everything you need to run them. They're actually just 40-minute, most of them are 40-minute presentations. And then you have the strategic session afterwards. And while the presentations are valuable, you don't have to have an awful lot in a 40-minute presentation, to be fair. While the presentations are valuable, the other thing that is really valuable is allowing business owners who are often lonely in their business, in running their business, you allow them the opportunity to share their problems and to interact with other non-competing business owners in the room. And quite often, as they start to trust each other as well as you, they'll share more problems that they've got. And you don't have to do anything because you've brought these people together, and someone else will say, oh, I had that problem, and this is what I did to fix it. Or they might even say, oh, I had that problem, and I sat down with Jean, my accountant, and she helped me to sort it. So, you know, what the things that can come out of that are phenomenal. But they also help with long-term encouraging people to want to do more with you as well, as they start to understand the skills you have. We don't run them very often, but you could come along to the purposeful roadmap, to look at the business edge and making it happen programs. If business edge and making it happen are something that you would really like to talk about, then book a training session with me. You can go onto your app, click on book a call, and just book a software training session, and I will go through the business edge and making it happen programs with you. They are two much more high-end consulting tools that are available to advisory members, but they're incredible to run. The business edge is sort of 6 half-day sessions that you'd run with your clients, and it's about coming up with an action plan. It's not about you doing any of the work. It's just about helping them to come up with an action plan. Whereas the Making It Happen program is a sort of £30,000 program where you would go into their offices, into their premises every week and sit down with them. Some of the sessions are about brainstorming in a similar way to the business edge, looking at different strategies for helping them to grow or to develop. Others are where you would go in and actually physically implement stuff with them. So, you can have, and you don't have to do the Making It Happen program in one whole session, in one whole year. You could just pick different bits out of it. So there's a whole section on their team, and there is a whole section on their customers and finding out from the customers what they value. So there's all of that in there for you. If that's something of interest, book a session with me and we can go through it.
If we was just starting off on the advisory road, what tools would you recommend, or what process or what system would you recommend that we use to offer clients just at the beginning, just to sort of start them off and start us off as well?
Yeah, to start off, I would start with the numbers folder. So just down here, we've got the performance measurement and improvement system, and I would absolutely start with that. You can create your own. So all the content is in System Builder. You can send that off. You can give that to your designer, or we can put you in touch with a designer who can rebrand that at very little cost, and create the folders, put it in the folders, and give that out to all of your clients. Because
it's just the PMI thing, is it?
Yeah,
right,
the PMI folder. Yeah. So give it out to all of your clients, and then start with either or both, depending on, how much involvement you want and how many meetings you're having with the client. You would start probably with either on track or benchmark. And those things both fit into the PMI folder, because benchmark in particular, you can easily produce the one-page performance improvement report, and by doing that, it just means you've got something to talk about, and it just starts those different conversations. It starts the conversations about where they're at and their gross profits and whether they're earning enough. And if you look at the PMI folder, one of the first things is looking at the goals, your clients' goals and aspirations. But when you're first starting out with this stuff and developing yourself as a trusted advisor, that's sort of way up, because if your existing clients, especially, not necessarily for your new ones because they don't know you, but for your existing ones, it's sort of way out there. So starting small, starting with the numbers which they're comfortable with and you're comfortable with, because you've always talked to them about the numbers, but just talking about a few different numbers before you then get on to looking at goals. I would certainly suggest that.
Right, thank you.
Other things that you can do is have professional brochures done. So there are 2 or 3 in System Builder. It's worth looking for. Just type the word brochure in, and you can take the content that we have them actually as a physical brochure, so you've got an idea on how we've created them. We also have the the Word documents so that you can get them created yourself. There are some really neat tools out there to do it yourself these days, or you can just send it to your graphic designer and get them to do it. But absolutely, have something. Everything's online these days. You know, we even send out our clients' accounts in a portal where they download them and just sign online, and then you send them a copy and it's downloaded. Very little is done tangible. So if you can give them the folder, the PMI folder, they've got something tangible. If you can give them a brochure looking at some of the different things that you can offer, again, it's tangible. They can touch it, they can open it, they can, you know, they're more likely to do something with it than if you were to send that information on email, for example. Collect testimonials and put them wherever you can. So I looked 2 weeks ago at testimonials as well. So there's a great system in System Builder for how to collect testimonials in the right way, with the right language, and the ease of use for yourself and your clients. Because if you've had a conversation with your client and they've said some great things to you about how you've helped them, then you should be asking for a testimonial and say, look, you've just said some great things. Can I sort of put that down in words? And if you're happy with it, then you just need to sign it, put it on your letterhead and sign it. And it just takes away a lot of the pressure. And because they've got, you know, the business owners, they've got enough to do without writing testimonials for you. So make it easy for them, as long as it's their words and it's true to what they would say. So have a look at that system. If you're not already collecting testimonials, get them on your website, get them on LinkedIn. If you have an office with a waiting room, get them in a nicely presented bound folder. Get them put in there for prospects and clients to look through. So you could achieve the Avian Excellence Accreditation. So that is a set of standards, and I would absolutely recommend everybody has a look at it. It's a set of standards, and the 6-star Avian Excellence is the full advisor standard, the business growth advisor standard, where we've sent an independent assessor into your practice to look at the things that you're doing and to say, yes, they are doing them. And again, that can be used in your marketing. It can be used on your website. There would be a plaque in your office. You can use it on your email footers to say you have this accreditation and this is what it means. And it's an independent accreditation in the same way that, you know, Investors in People is. And actually, when we first started out with this, we had the same people assessing it as well, that were assessing investors in people. So it's completely independent of the work with AVN, and we wouldn't approve you if we didn't think that you deserved it, because we're not going to put our name to it. So it's absolutely, it's a real sort of benchmark, and even just working through that, it's a way of making sure that you're covering off all those bases. So again, make sure you're entering awards. There are resources in System Builder about doing that. Too late this year. We've just had our award winner, who was announced last week. So Phil and his team from Blend won the Most Inspiring Accountants award. But in June, July of next year, they're going to be out again. So make sure you enter for those. 7 categories, you can enter all of them. That means 7 opportunities to win an award. So make sure you do that. Always be on the lookout for other awards that you can enter. And use the resources in System Builder. And also on the hub, we had a lady a few weeks ago talking about how to enter awards and the things that people look out for. So make sure you have a listen to that. and get some award entries in. Because if you can say award-winning accountant, it makes a massive difference to how, whether people trust you or not. Some more resources in System Builder there for you to have a look at. Again, this is just a document in System Builder. So what does the team need to do differently? So you need to make sure you've got an organization chart with the key roles and responsibilities in there. But your team need to be able to spot those cross-selling opportunities, and actually, if possible, go to the client and cross-sell. Because if the team understand how the pricing structure is and the fee, then there's no reason why it has to be you that does that all the time. If you listen to the awards last week, Val was saying that while she was on holiday, a client came in with a challenge, some work that needed doing. The team looked at the project. There wasn't a standard fee for it. They came up with the fee. They did it. They charged the client. Val didn't know anything about it. So what can your team do? How can you get them on board to perhaps look for those opportunities? So get them on the roadmaps. The value roadmap is a brilliant one for understanding the PMI tools, for understanding all the different tools that you have available, spotting opportunities, looking at the basic tools. So how to use On Track, for example. So if you've got client managers, ideally you want them to be running the On Track reports and talking to your clients through those, rather than it having to be you. Get onto the gearing roadmap, because that'll help them to learn how to interact with the clients better, and actually it'll help you to understand how to interact with your client, with your team better as well. Not everybody wants to be a business advisor. Quite often you have team members who, where are we? Keeps refreshing my screen. Quite often you'll have team members that are just happy in the back end doing the work. And if you try to push them to the front end to actually interact with the clients, they're not going to be happy. You're not going to get the best out of them. So understand what your team want. And if you've got a team member that's really great face-to-face with the clients, then put them in that position. Teach them. It doesn't have to be someone that is a fully qualified accountant that is doing all this business growth stuff. I did business growth. I did Making It Happen program, business stage program. I did all of that with clients before I became fully qualified. But it's about the teaching, how you teach them and how you bring those team members on. So, make sure you do that. Make sure you're attending all the Avian events. Use the Facebook group to help each other. And don't be scared to try. So people that would make a good business advisor, what do you need to look out for? So someone who is good at connecting with the clients, listens to them, delves deeper, is good at asking questions. You can't always know the answer. It's not about knowing the answer. It's about asking the right questions. But someone who understands the services that you're prepared to give, and wants to understand the client's business, wants to understand what it is that they do, how they do it. Because by doing that, you can ask the question why, which is a really important question to ask, particularly with sort of business development work that you're doing. And someone who's happy to hold the client to account and follow up. Because if you don't hold the client account and follow up, you're not going to sort of finish the circle, if you like. So it's important that you make sure that you do that. And knows what you should charge for and what you shouldn't, because this sort of stuff is so easy to give away for free. So I've only got 10 minutes left, so I'm going to whiz through the rest of this. So what do you need to do next if you haven't already done something? Look at who needs to be involved in your team. What things you need to implement. So is it doing the approved membership application so that you can get in the book and you can get your own book, because that's the starting of, then you're able to use that to promote yourself. So what is it that you need to do? What do you need to plan to make this happen? What are your actions going to be following on from today? How can you build that into your one-page plan to make sure that you are measuring the things that you want to measure, so that you know if you're on the right track of getting the right number of clients doing business growth work? Make your clients aware of what you have available. Point out that you know the pains that they're in and the things that you can do to help. So the easiest things to look for and to provide help with as a starting point, the very easiest things are these here. So your clients don't have enough time, they're working too many hours, they're not making enough money. The effort that they're putting in for the reward is far too big. So things that you can do, help them to understand why they went into business. So that might be using the goal setting tool, or just having a conversation about how the business started. So I had a conversation earlier about why someone went into business, and it was because the person that they were buying the business of had let them have the time off that they wanted, they were doing the work that they wanted, they were taking the holidays that they wanted, and they felt that by buying the business they could achieve that, they could continue with that. But buying the business has taken on a whole new set of challenges, and so they haven't got that. So why did you do it in the first place? Have a clear picture and a vision of where they want the business to go, and make sure that they're sharing that with the team. Because if they don't share it with their team, the team don't understand why they want to why they're wanting to make changes. So it's important to share that with the team. Help them by helping them to understand the numbers. So use the one-page plan. Find out what the key numbers are in their business and help them to measure them. Create the benchmark report and discuss that with them. If look at the numbers in their business that are going to be easy to change. If they've got £50,000 worth of debtors and the cash, they're short on cash, help them to put a system in place to get that. Help them to implement Stripe or go cardless or whatever it is. These easy things that you can help them to do to make their lives easier. And I did that. Our cleaner at our previous office, they were always, "Oh, Jenny, you've not paid the bill. Jenny, you've not paid the bill." And I'm just like, can't you just set up direct debit? Can't you just set up go cardless, and then you can just take the money, because then you'll get it when you want it, and I don't have to worry about making sure I've paid you. And they did that, and actually they did that with all of their clients, and so they didn't have a problem collecting money after that. So how can you do? And I'm not their accountant. I just, as a customer, I wanted an easy solution to paying their bill. So what can you help them to implement? So show them the return on investment for taking business advice and offer them the money back guarantee. So in business potential, if you were to use that piece of software with your clients, you can show them the potential, and the very bottom has a cost. So put the cost in for 3 months, for running through SSTW with them or for doing a business edge session with them. So put the £3,000 cost in and still show them it's worth their money going forward. So what will make the client prospect do something different with you? I think it's important to have quality conversations with your clients and to show them that you are more than just the accountant. I mean, it says there you can still have an accountant and work with us. You don't have to move your accounts. If the client doesn't have to move their accounts to you, you can just work on the business growth with them. And I've seen that a few times where someone else does the accounts. Show them case studies, show them testimonials, get them to take action, give them an idea of something to do, and then have a second meeting with them. Did you do it? And let them help them to make those actions, and make sure you guarantee it or try it for free. So certainly in the early days, if you've got a really great client, you might want to just say, I've got this new service, I'd just like to sort of try it. Would you be my guinea pig? It'll not cost you anything, but at the end of it, if you get value, if we can do a case study and you can write me a testimonial, that'd be great. So, you can do that. There's loads of things here for developing your team. Make sure you get them on the training. Loads of things in System Builder for you to have a look at. So the heart selling, absolutely. Get them to do that. There is a couple more resources in System Builder that I don't think are on here, which are the pains checklist. So there's an action planner here for you to write down your actions once you've been through the resource, but also have a look at the pains checklist, because that's a way of identifying and working with your clients to identify the pains and to look at what the next steps are for you. So absolutely make sure that you're sort of starting these conversations with your clients, and so that they know that you're not just the accountant, that you're there for other things as well. Does anyone have any questions on that? And on all of the things I've covered today that are in this document? No? Anyone still with me? I just heard someone, so there must be someone there.
Yeah, I'm still here.
What action are you going to take to become a trusted advisor? What's the one thing that you're going to do to move you towards being a trusted advisor? You don't have to talk.
So me personally, I'm just going to look at that PMI folder and see what is to be implemented there. Yeah,
absolutely. It's really easy to implement. If you look at it, there is also an order form if you want our graphic designer to redesign it for you. I think he charges £150. So all we do is, if you want that, you just fill it in and send it on to us, and we'll pass it on to him, and he'll be in touch to get your logos and your colours and all that sort of stuff. So it's really easy to do. It tells you what type of folder you need to buy. So absolutely. So what other actions are people going to take? I'm not closing this meeting until everybody's put an action on. So might as well put one. Excellent. Brilliant. No problem, Rose. That is absolutely fine. Just use the book a call and we'll get a call booked in. So yeah, Jean, it's well worth having a look through this document and just choosing 2 or 3 things to put on. yes, you do need to do your actions before you call tomorrow with Emma. Otherwise, she'll be telling you off, Libby. That's great. And if you have a look at it, if you've got any questions, if you want help with anything, book a call with me, drop us an email, and we will absolutely do that for you. So I'm done for today. Thank you ever so much for joining me. Hopefully you'll take some action following that to push your practice and yourselves towards being that trusted advisor and get more of that